And there's a specific kind of silence you only find in the mountains of Busan. It's not the absence of noise. It's more like the world is holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. I used to think the fog near Jangsan Mountain was peaceful, a barrier that kept the rest of the world away. But the locals have a different perspective. They call it the dead air. They told me once that if the birds stop singing and the insects go quiet, you're not alone. You're just being listened to. They have one rule: never acknowledge a voice unless you can see the light reflecting in their pupils. At the time, I thought it was just folklore, a way to keep kids from wandering into the brush. I was sitting by the fireplace, enjoying what I thought was perfect solitude. The air smelled of cold iron and ozone, sharp and metallic, like the moment right before a lightning strike. I didn't realize that the silence wasn't for me. It was for the thing outside, making sure it didn't miss a single beat of my heart. It started with a voice on the porch. It was my mother's voice. I forgot the spare key. "Let me in, it's freezing." It sounded exactly like her, the same pitch, the same soft lilt. But something felt off. It was too clear. It lacked the natural warmth of human breath, the tiny imperfections of someone speaking in the cold. It sounded like a high-fidelity recording played through a perfect speaker. I stood up, heading toward the door. But I stopped when she said it again. I forgot the spare key. "Let me in. It's freezing." Every syllable was identical to the first, the same inflection, the same timing. It was a loop. I looked at the window, but the frost was too thick to see through. A faint, high-pitched frequency began to hum in my ears, a static that felt like it was vibrating inside my teeth. The wind had completely stopped. Not a single pine needle rustled. It was as if the forest had become a vacuum, drawing all the air toward that door. That's when it hit me. My mother always enters through the back kitchen door when she forgets her key, and the porch doesn't even have stairs on that side of the house. The voice changed. It stopped being polite. "Hey, little bear, open up?" That was my childhood nickname, but as it spoke, the pitch fluctuated, sliding up and down like someone tuning a radio in real time. Then came the scratching. It wasn't at the door anymore, it was coming from beneath the floorboards. A slow, rhythmic dragging sound, like dry, brittle branches or long fingernails scraping against the wood. It followed me. Every step I took toward the kitchen, the scratching shifted underneath me, perfectly synchronized with my pace. My phone vibrated. It was a text from my mom checking in. "Just landed. Still no signal at the airport. See you tomorrow morning. Love you." The realization was like a physical blow. The thing outside wasn't just mimicking her voice. It was using the proximity of my technology to scan her digital identity, tuning itself to her tone while she was hundreds of miles away. The scratching stopped abruptly. In the sudden quiet, I heard a low, wet, clicking sound. It sounded like a predator deciding that the human mask was no longer necessary. It wasn't trying to trick me into opening the door anymore. It was just waiting for me to speak back. The temperature plummeted. I could see my own breath forming a thick, gray mist. Then the voice outside changed again. This time, it wasn't my mother's. It was mine. It started reciting my own internal thoughts, but 10% faster, a frantic, mechanical chatter that vibrated the walls. I should hide in the cellar. I should check the locks. It's too tall. Why is it so tall? I looked at the frosted window and saw a shadow move. It was elongated, spindly, with joints that seemed to bend in directions biology shouldn't allow. Its hair was white, a pale, needle-like fur that caught the moonlight even through the fog. Then the voices began to overlap. My mother's plea and my own panicked thoughts merged into a single dissonant chord, a hypnotic chant that made my head spin. I tasted copper in my mouth, the metallic tang of pure, paralyzing dread. The door handle began to turn. It wasn't being forced. It was being moved with practiced, surgical precision, the way someone who has watched humans for 1,000 years might try to imitate the action. It didn't need a key. It was learning how to be me. And when the sun finally rose, the cabin was intact. The door was still locked. There were no claw marks on the wood, but when I tried to scream for help, nothing came out. My voice was gone. I could only produce a dry, hollow whisper. An hour later, I heard a car pull up. It was my mother, arriving early. She stepped out and called my name, her voice full of genuine worry. I tried to run to the window to warn her, to tell her to stay in the car. But from the edge of the woods, a voice responded. It was my voice. It was perfect. It was joyful. Mom, over here, I found something in the trees. I watched from the window, unable to make a sound, as she smiled and walked toward the dark line of pines, following the echo of a version of me that didn't exist. So if you're ever alone, and you hear a loved one calling from another room, or if you hear your own voice reflecting back at you with a slight metallic delay, don't answer. Don't even breathe, because it's not an echo. It's a rehearsal, and you're the only audience it needs.